support different levels of instruction. So the thing that is missing from this is, of course, the importance of class community. And class community allows the learners to work in the groups effectively. So although we did a very brief rendition of that with the polls, you would really want your learners to be looking to building community, building connections with each other at the beginning of every session. Looking a little more closely at the first three elements, want to make sure that you are creating level-specific objectives within a theme or topic. So if I were to choose, for example, the weather theme, then I could have a global objective for the whole group of describing current weather conditions. And then I would level the objectives within that theme. So you're seeing something for lower level learners, something for mid-level learners, and something for higher level learners. Michael, perhaps you could help Marcia. I want to remind everyone that if you are having technical difficulties, and you're typing on the, thank you, Dane, and you're typing in the chat pod, remember that Michael will be assisting you, and you might want to write directly to Michael. So at my lower level group, I want to make sure that my lower level learners are responsible for the level of language that is best for them. So in this case, common weather conditions and what's the weather like would be the most typical type of response, the most typical type of language that they would use. But my mid-level learners, who might be high beginners or low intermediates, they would be interpreting a weather map in order to ask and answer questions about the weather. And my higher level learners would be making small talk. Notice that all of these levels will be using the same basic vocabulary and then expanding up. One of the best ways to make sure that everyone feels like they're in the same class, kind of leveling out the different proficiency levels, is to make a whole class presentation. And we're going to talk specifically about ways to do this, but I wanted to give you an outline of the 4 strategies that are most useful with a picture. You can ask questions to elicit learners' prior knowledge and make them and encourage them to start thinking about the new content. You can demonstrate a conversation using the visuals. You can act out a sequence or actions using the visuals as support, or you can tell a story. And I'll be showing you that specifically with the classroom software. But I do want you to be aware that once you've done a whole class presentation, you still have to check comprehension across levels. And one of the best ways to do that is using leveled questions. And I find that answer cards, I used to be a big fan of the yes-no cards. I've since branched out into the ABCD multiple choice cards. But answer cards allow everybody a level playing field, so that if I ask or pose a comment, he's sweating because it's, and they have to fill in the blank, the low-level learner who has comprehension but not production is still able to hold up the B card. We can put our cards down and do a choral response of yes-no questions. The yes-no question can change in level, so I can look at my lower level questions and ask, is he cool? Or I can look at my higher level questions and say, has he been sweating because it's humid? And the answer is still yes, but the structure of the question is at a different level. I consider the or question to be the perfect question just when you think learners are ready to produce but not quite ready to answer the WH. So you can ask them an or question, and by asking, is it humid or foggy, the learners get a 50-50 chance of getting it right, but they also get a verbal model. The basic WH questions, so looking at a page and asking what's the weather in number 15, your higher level learners will be able to do that much more quickly than your lower level learners, but the great aspect of that is that your lower level learners are getting more exposure to the language. And then because you want to keep your higher level learners, you want to get your higher level learners thinking about a higher level of language, you would provide them with questions that would ask them to incorporate the new language they've learned or reviewed, and then additional language that will support their objective. So how can a single picture support different levels of instruction? This is one of our key questions. And in order to show you that, I'm going to be taking you onto my computer screen, and we won't have any chat pod during that time. So if you go to full screen, you won't be able to see necessarily the chat pods or the comments of other people, but that shouldn't be an issue as long as you've got my voice, and then when we come back in, you can always go to the smaller screen for the chat pod. So hold on for just a moment as I take you to my screen. And I will see things a little bit before you do, so I'm going to try to make sure that the screen is as large as I can make it and that I'm working with you and your timing. But what I would like to assure you of is that the screen is actually moving at a very reasonable flowing pace on my end, and the webinar magic creates a little bit of a lag time. Let me just verify that. Okay. So what you're seeing right now is the opening screen for the newest member of the Picture Dictionary family. It's the classroom presentation tool. It's a gift to teachers. I consider it a tremendous gift in the classroom because it allows me to put the Picture Dictionary up large and clear and beautiful for my learners, as well as giving me lots of different activities I can do with the whole class at different levels. There are two different entrees into this program. One is to download all of the different art from the Picture Dictionary, and the other is to present the Picture Dictionary page. And we're going to the Picture Dictionary page, but when you get your sample, you'll be able to download all the art from one of the units in the Picture Dictionary. So now what you would be seeing right now is the table of contents, and I know that I want to show you one of my very favorite pictures, which is the Adults and Children page. And if you remember, we talked first about asking questions as a way to get information about what students already know and then to start your presentation. So this page may look rather small to you on your computer, but one of the gifts of the program is that I am able to enlarge any portion using the magnifying tool. And if I want to talk about a specific section or ask questions about a specific section, I can do that. And pretty soon that should come up for you. And Jessica, I see that you have a question, but I can't get your question until we finish this part of the presentation. So if I wanted to ask some questions, for example, who are these women? How many people do you see? Are they men or women? Who are they? Where are they? What time of day is it? What are they doing? This could start me on the presentation of the lesson. Another benefit of working with this type of single picture to start my lesson is that I can focus on elements in the lesson and ask questions. So for example, there is a toolbar that I can use, and I can choose to focus students on this young man. And I can ask questions such as, how old is he? Where is he? How does he feel? I might ask initially, is everyone at